Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be here with you on a Saturday. This is one of those rare times where I actually am able to do a Saturday. I was thinking I was going to be out of town and got back a little bit early, so I'm super excited to hang out with all of you. I know lots of people have been asking for a live stream when it's not during work time, so here is our option. Of course, there will be a replay. We have an exclusive coupon from Altenew, but mainly today, I am going to take you through 3 different cards on using your nesting dies in new ways. And what got me inspired are the nesting dies from Altenew. These are the nesting arches. And we're going to use these in some fun ways today. Just ways to stretch those dies, ways to use them in new ways that you might not have thought of. I saw that there's some crazy weather around the country. And hi, Diana, Arlene. I thank Arlene for putting in the weather forecast for my area because Arlene lives kind of close to me. I did not know it was going to be getting bad here tonight, so I'm glad that we're getting on in the middle of the day before our weather gets so crazy and the Wi-Fi causes trouble. So what we're working on today, I said, is nesting arches, and I'm going to look at 3 different cards. Now, one of these cards I just have in my head as a concept, so y'all will get to kind of work through my process of creating a card, and it will be fun. It's going to be a surprise card. The 2 cards that I did want to show you today that we'll be working on, and of course I'll put this over here. I'll put it down on the bottom camera in just a minute, but we're going to be looking at nesting arches in these 2 ways, and then our final card will be that surprise card, okay? So I know that Rachel's putting in there, make sure you put in bold question if you have a question for me while I'm doing this, because I'm going to be intent on card making and I try to glance up real quick and catch those questions especially. So just make sure you do that. I wanted to show you a couple of other cards that I made for this release that haven't been out on social media yet. So you're getting the first peek of this. They have this cute mini delight, and it is so precious. This one, I really love these red glasses. This is probably going to be for my mother because she has red glasses. And I just think that's so cute. Nancy asked, where do I live? I'm in East Tennessee, so I'm in Knoxville, Tennessee, and we have beautiful sunshine, little chilly. And according to Arlene, who is also in East Tennessee, probably some crazy winds again tonight. We've had really, really windy time. It's kind of odd. So the other card I made for this release is using that 3D clear relief paste. I'm going to put the overhead camera on so that you can see a little bit better. So let's get it to overhead cam. All right, let me pop my face up here. Okay, so these are the 2 that we're going to work on first. And I know there's a lot about these that is going to be super fun to show you because there's a lot of fun techniques. We used ink blending, we used some ink smooshing, we're using colored cardstock, we're doing all kinds of stuff. We're doing some heat embossing. So we're going to be looking at these. Oh, hey, Deborah. Deborah says her granddaughter lives in Knoxville. It's a great city. So we will be looking at these, and then I wanted to show you a couple more from the release if you wanted to see those up close. So this one is the Mini Delight, which is got these cute little glasses. I think they're so precious. Look at how those are. Oh my goodness. Okay, and then the new 3D clear gel. So this is clear over some cardstock. I'm going to have an entire video on using this. So don't worry, I will be that'll be coming out, I believe, at the end of this month. Yay, good. Diana says she has the nesting arches. So this is what we're looking at today. These are there's so many ways to use them. I cannot say enough about it, and I will use them in 3 specific ways today. But we'll get started on the first card, which is, here's what we're going to use for the first card. We're going to use some colored cardstock. So we're going to use some Peachy Glow. It's just kind of like slightly peachy, but it goes with a set of inks. Let me show you these inks. So Altenew has cardstock that matches their inks. And so it coordinates well with these. And I know you'll see Golden Honeycomb. I had to put a little label on it because I accidentally cleaned off the top of this with alcohol, and that rubs these colors off. So, you know, just one of those weird things that happens. So I would like to know in the comments, Do you have a favorite nesting die? Have you ever used nesting dies? So tell me if you have a favorite. Tell me what it is and like what shape it is. I'd love to hear. I love nesting dies. I use them all the time and have lots of fun with them. So these are the colors we're going to use on our first card. Let me show you the stamps that we're going to use so that you can see this set. This is the new Craft Your Life set. Now you could do this same project. So this is Craft Your Life Garden Gala, sorry. I had to put my southern in there, didn't I? And it's got lots of flowers. So if you can find yourself a large flower, you can do some of the same general ideas. So just a large open flower. This one happens to be made. They knew Nesting Arches was coming out. So of course they included some different things that will fit in those arches, which is going to be really fun. And I really love the font of these. So we're going to use these large, bold sentiments on all of our cards. Is easier. So Diana says she has rectangles. Yes, I love rectangles. It's so nice because you don't have to cut everything. Okay, double stitched elongated ovals are a great one too. Yeah, I love ovals. So I'm going to go ahead and get this stamp set out, and we're going to get our stamp wheel out and get working on the back of this, and then we will add some beautiful color to it. So we're going to use this stamp set. I'm going to go ahead and get my stamp wheel. We'll get the stamp wheel out, and we're going to stamp a couple of different things. I'm trying to get my stamp wheel so you can see. I zoomed in my camera, so I'm just trying to get it right there where you can see it. Okay. And we're going to stamp directly on our peach cardstock. So what that means is I'm going to use some heat embossing on this peach cardstock. And so I want to make sure that I have gotten my anti-static brush on it and use that. So I'm going to use some anti-static powder all over this cardstock. Ooh, etched design and oval sounds good, Gina. Nice. Oh, Arlene, I think you just said, oh, good. Okay, so Arlene, I would like to see that. You need to tag me on that one. She said she used her embossing folder as a background stamp. That's cool. All right. So here is what we're going to do. Hi, so nice. There's somebody from Canada hanging out and joining us. Thank you. I'm going to put this in here, trying not to touch it too much. I might actually push it down with my brush just so I can get good. I don't want my fingerprints on there. Yeah, so we're going to use this large flower, okay? And it is, I've used it before. Part of it's going to go off the card, but you want to cover as much of the card as you can because it's going to look really cool when we cut the middle out of this and create an arch. So I'm going to try to get as much as I can on this card. So just kind of scooting it towards the middle so that we've got a decent amount of overlap. I do want to leave a little space at the top because I want to try to put a sentiment there. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, and then we're going to stamp the back of it. So we're going to use these arches, and you know, just so you can visualize, here we go. I think it's this big one. Is it the big one? No, next level. Sometimes I have to play with the arch sizes to decide. I think I need to go just slightly smaller than that one. So it's going to be the third one. Yeah, that one fits better on an A2. So see how it's got all these different layers? I'm going to use that third layer to cut out the middle of my A2. I might even go one smaller just for fun. Let's see here. Let's see what the one smaller looks like. That gives me a little bit more. Let's just see here. I think we need to go with the larger. Larger is going to give us more room for our sentiment. And I'm going to line it up here so that I make sure I've got enough room both ways. Sorry. So we can stick our sentiment there. I think I'm going to move my flower down just a little bit. That way I can fit some words up here too. Now we'll look at our words and we'll go ahead and stamp those as well. So I think I'm going to do, which one do y'all like? Thinking of you, my friend. Thinking of you today, my friend. Or sending strength and positive vibes. I did a love one, so I think I'm going to go thinking with you. Thinking of you. Good morning, Kathy. And everybody too, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I'm a little congested from my travels. And so if you see me having to stop and mute and blow my nose, I'm sorry about that. Sorry about that. I think I'm going to go down just a little bit further. So this is how I line my card up, is just making sure I've got enough in there, but still enough room for that beautiful sentiment. So you can kind of adjust how you want here. I want part of it off and I want part of it in the middle. Okay. All that looks good. I think I'm going to cut it first to make sure it's centered, actually. Sorry, we're doing all kinds of things. Sorry. All right. Oh, hi, Tiffany. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it first, and then I'm going to stamp it. And that way I know I'm definitely in the middle. I don't want to chance this. And I think that's the way I did it the first time. Sorry. Been on vacation, got vacation brain. Let me get this set up here. We're going to actually cut, then stamp. And that's just to make sure I've got this in the center. So I'm going to be very careful sending it through my die cutting machine. And then we're going to tape it together to stamp. All right, let me try to look at those questions. Yeah, I love the curved sentiments as well. They work perfectly. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it out, and then I'm going to tape these parts together. I know that seems strange, but I'm going to use a little bit of tape on the back, and we're going to tape just a smidge. And really, you don't even have to tape it because you're going to use a sticky mat. So let's see if we can get it to just work on the sticky mat. So here we go. We're going to put our two pieces back together. And this is just to make sure that I get my sentiment correct and I don't miss the arch or anything like that. It just makes it a little bit easier. Because they are arch sentiments, sometimes you need just a little bit of extra. So now I've got that fit back in and it's stuck to my sticky mat. Hi, I think that's Marissa. I'm going to do just a smidge right here. And then I will put this die back up. Sorry, I'm trying not to lose all the nesting dies because we're going to need those. We've got some fun things coming with the nesting dies. Now you can know where the sentiment goes a little bit better. Make sure you've got it just how you want it. And then we can adjust our beautiful things. So today we are having a exclusive coupon from Altenew. I'm also going to do a giveaway. That's from Patty. Patty sent some things that we can give away. And so we're going to do that in both the live and the replay, no worries. And then we will have lots of fun. So I've got this, so I've got my arch, I've got my flower, and then I'm going to write the word love here. Let's make sure that still fits on this size. I'm going to go ahead and do them all at the same time. Okay, love is cutting it close, but it's got it. So I know that's a lot of stamping at once, but it really helps you to get it taken care of. Okay, that looks good to me. So we're just going to stamp it in black, and then we're going to heat emboss it in clear. So we're using lots of parts of our stamps here. You can heat emboss. I'm actually going to do this just to make sure this stays down here. If there is a spot on the arch that is not covered by flowers, I'm going to use it. I'm just going to do this little edge just to make sure that edge does not get pulled up by the stamp. Okay. And that way we've got it taken care of. I'm going to do one more dust of our anti-static powder just to be safe, just a little bit, just make sure I hadn't caused any trouble here. Okay. And then we're going to ink it up. So I'm going to use just a black ink, and then I'm going to use clear heat embossing. I'm going to use this ink today just because it stays wet really well, and we're going to stamp all of this. You may get some on your actual sticky mat, but that's okay. Good morning, Ruby. Yes, this is a beautiful stamp. Okay, I got almost all of it. We can always stamp it a couple times if we need to. I'm just making sure I didn't get any fuzz or anything on this so that it looks nice and crisp. Okay, there we go. So tell me, do you use your nesting dies regularly, or do you tend to not do that and just leave them for just cutting a shape? Like, have you experimented with them very much? Okay, so we'll get some more ink on this. We could also use Altenew's Obsidian. That is a great ink. I love that one a lot, and it does work well with this. I just didn't have it within my reach, so we're going to use this one. Sometimes when you're live, you just grab what's close. Thanks, Polly. Okay, here's how we're looking. I feel like this little edge needs just a little bit more in the center and the edge, and then we're going to heat emboss it. Okay, and we will get lots, and then we're going to do some ink blending, which is going to make this look really nice, especially if you're one of those who does not want to have to use the stencil every single time. Sometimes it's nice to just have a little bit of it, ink blending over a nice outlined image like this. This is a great outline for so many different things. I'm really loving this set. Okay, here we go. I think we're ready to heat emboss. Let me wipe this off, and I got to wipe my mat off really quick, and then we will do some heat embossing. So I'm going to wipe right here. You see how you get it right here? Don't like to leave that on there. I'm going to take my piece off. And we got 2 pieces to heat emboss, okay? 1 and 2. And I know you think I'm waiting a little while to put that embossing powder on it. Don't worry, we'll be good. So let's wipe this part off just because I don't like this little mat to get nasty. Okay, so I'm going to wipe this off too, just so we can let it start drying. We're going to use that same thanking of you today on another one. So, sorry, it's shaking the desk a little bit. So we'll do that. Alrighty, let's do some heat embossing. We're going to use clear, and we're going to do both pieces. So here we go. Let's get our embossing powder on there. One reason to do this when you're using a stamp that you're going to do some ink blending over is because sometimes you aren't patient enough to wait for that black to dry. And I'm definitely not, especially on a live. So sometimes you just need to go ahead and emboss it so you're not worried about smearing it later. Okay, we got that one covered. Let's do this one. And then we'll heat those up and start doing some ink blending. So this is the more important one for not having any little pieces stuck to it. So you'll see me really looking at it because I want to ink blend over it. And if I get that clear embossing stuck to random places, you're going to see it in the ink blending. So, sorry, I spilt a little bit, didn't I? So I'm going to really like flick this from the back and hope that we've got it. Let's see if I can look at it a couple different ways. Looks good. I need to wipe this mat off because, of course, I dropped some embossing powder. I saw y'all talking about mats and cleaning them. Yeah, I do. I try. I don't always succeed. Y'all, I know y'all have seen my funny one that's from just that I do a lot of ink blending on, and we'll probably see it in this live. It's actually pink. I don't always worry about it, but I like to keep my stamp wheel nice and crisp. Okay, so we're gonna do some heat embossing, which means I gotta turn this thing on. So let's start talking in the chat. Tell me some things. Have you ever tried cutting the middle of a flower out like this with a nesting die? Has anybody tried that? Yes, no? Gotta let it get a little bit warm, so. Kathy says she needs to give her craft room a little spa day. Oh my goodness. Y'all make sure you hit the thumbs up too. So I see several no's. They've never tried this before. Okay, well, we're gonna have some fun. I'm just hitting these little areas. How are we doing on the zoom in, y'all? Good, I zoomed the camera in again today. Okay, that one looks good. Let's do the middle. And if you warp them a little bit, that's okay. We're going to ink blend on these. We're going to put some foam tape on it. We'll get it fixed. Hi, Sandy. Oh, thanks, Nancy. I'm glad you're here, Nancy. So y'all tell me what you think about, too. I was asking if anybody's die cut out of their center of their flowers like this and tried it before. We had a few no's. I also would love to know what you're working on this weekend. Are you crafting along? You got a certain project you're working on? Tell me what kind of techniques you've been doing this weekend. I think I saw somebody said they've been using their paper. Okay. Now, I think I got all this good. All righty. So now we have our two pieces. So what we're going to do, and I'll tell you this quickly, put this one away so that you don't accidentally get ink on it, because what makes this look so cool is there's only ink in the middle. So I'm going to put this on a completely different shelf because I am a mess and I'm going to get ink on it if I'm not careful. So I'm going to put it right back behind me so that I can't get ink on it. And now we're going to use some of our fun inks. So we're going to be using these. Mainly, so Peachy Glow is the color of the cardstock. We're going to be using these mainly Golden Honeycomb, Amber Blaze, and Melted Butterscotch. Oh, that's good to know, Gina. Yep, lots of people been to SBC Fest. Y'all need to tell them to put me in SBC Fest. Don't tell them I said that. I did it a long time ago. I'd love to do that again. All right, so I've got it all nice stuck down. It's going to be a little bit warped, but like I said, we're going to fix that with some other stuff, and we're going to start with Golden Honeycomb. And I'm going to say that when you're ink blending on paper that is not made for ink blending, so this is colored cardstock, sometimes it's a little bit more texture, and that can cause you a little trouble ink blending. So just be cautious when you start. I'm going to start with a little bit bigger brush, and then I'm going to build up my layers. We're going to do an ombre look. I'm going to build up my layers to create more color. So we'll start with our bigger brush, and this is going to be a color that's all over the background, okay? So I'm going to start from the bottom because that's where I want most of my color to be. I may need to add a little double-sided adhesive. We'll see how we go here. Or I might need to use my other sticky mat that's a little bit stickier. So, and I'm just going from the bottom up, nothing super crazy. But we're going to do a decent amount of this because I want even this top part colored. So just make sure you got some color everywhere because you want it to stand out from this. So if you want it to be a different color than this, you need to make sure you get enough color even up on the top. Hi from North Dakota. So glad to have you joining. Oh, Nancy, that would be so fun. I know. I'd love to do that. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of tape on the back because it's not wanting to stay down. Let's actually do some tape runner. So let's go here and here and see. And if not, I'm going to change it to my other sticky mat that's a little stickier. Okay, and we're going to start adding this ink. Like I said, it's going to take a minute to get that buildup of ink. So you're just kind of getting as much as you can. It's also, too, I've done this a couple times. So My ink might be getting a little bit drier than yours, so just hang in there with me. Here we go. Lots of messy, messy ink blending because it doesn't really have to be neat till the end. So just getting some coverage. Oh, good. I'm glad y'all had fun. Glad y'all had fun. Well, today we're going to have an exclusive coupon from Altenew, and it's only good for a couple of days. So if you decide you want to use it, make sure you use it soon. And it is going to be on a cardstock bundle that we're going to use for our surprise card. So let me go ahead and I'll show you those colors if you're interested. And you'll see when I put it together for the surprise card how they look together. But it's a fun set of blues, and that specifically is on sale. Gosh, I can't remember. Was it? I'll have to have Rachel tell me how much that's on sale. I can't remember what. I think it's 40% off. Sorry. Okay, so I've got some good color down now. Now I can go in and start making my more ombre look. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go with Amber Blaze, and I'm going to take Amber Blaze to about right here. Then we're going to come in with our smaller ink blending, and we're going to do this area. What is the best way to clean your stamps with embossing ink? I use a wet, tidy towel is what it's often called. It doesn't have any lint on it. And I clean it off with this. So this one is from Gina K, but they make them, I've got one from Amazon. They're like a chamois that does not have lint, and I clean my stamps off with those. And if you are here hanging out with us, make sure you hit the thumbs up. That helps people find us in the replay. We got a live giveaway, we got a replay giveaway, we got all kinds of things coming today. So now I'm concentrating more of this darker ink in the lower 2/3 of this. So you'll see me, and I'm not trying to take forever to do this. I'm just getting some color down because it's so amazing how much that color looks drastically different than the original colored cardstock that you're going to see. It looks quite amazing. So I'm going up to about right here. It's okay if you have a little bit further, but I'm going to about that 2/3 mark. And I'm going in with this bigger brush first. If you want to create even more color, then you can come in with a smaller brush, which we might do. So just fading it up into that. Okay. So we have a nice break right about here. I may add just a little bit more on that side. Okay. Looking good. All right. Let's look at the difference already. Look at the difference already. Isn't that awesome? So blending is all about the paper and it's all about the brushes. So I'm starting with something that gives me a little bit more mistake ability, okay? So this is a bigger brush, so it's not as concentrated. Don't worry, I'm going to come in with that concentrated at the bottom, but I'm going to start off with the light brush. Oh no, she said she just got some cardstock. Yes, I will. Oh, I said I was going to show you those colors, didn't I? And I didn't do it. Hang on. It's this that's on sale. It's the Iceberg, Ultramarine, and Azurite. Hopefully I'm saying those correctly. So it's these three blues that are on sale, and that will be our surprise card. We're going to make a beautiful blue card. Yes, it does almost make it look vintage. So tell me too in the chat, are you pro Saturday lives, not Saturday lives? I'm always trying to kind of narrow it down to what everybody's enjoying. So I'm going to take this color about 1/3. Okay, make sure I get a nice difference in my color. Can you see here versus here? And you can always blend it a little bit. And then if you really want to make it dark, change your brush. Okay, so I really love making the very bottom extra dark. It just gives more of that look. Do you see how much darker that is? So I'm going to use a little bit of super dark on the bottom just to give it that effect. Oh, Polly, thanks. Pro Saturday. Okay, so we got pro. Okay, yeah. So answer in the thing pro con. So pro for Saturday, con for Saturday. I'm guessing if you're here, you're probably pro Saturday. But is that your favorite day? We'll see. Pro con, pro con. Okay, do you see how I've gotten this so much darker with this brush? Now I can take, I've got the same ink here. I can blend it up a little bit and just bring that ink through there. Okay. And look at how beautiful that looks. I feel like right here just needs a smidge more blending. Let me bring that up there. Blend that in just a little bit. Okay, I love it. It does look so nice. Okay, now we're done with this piece. Now we just have to put this card together. So it's amazing. This one goes together pretty quickly. We are going to use some of the new, sorry, I've got it taped a little bit on the back. There we go. Now, when you do that and you use that double-sided adhesive tape, you do have to kind of work at it to get it off. So just know that sometimes I do that on my mat and it just helps it stick a little bit better because this is my old mat. New mats. So here's old mat versus new mat. Old mat versus new mat. Okay, let's put this card together. I got to make sure I do not have ink on my hands, which look, I do have ink on my hands. So let me wipe those off because I'm trying not to get that ink on the other card. We want it to look nice and crisp. I'll leave that down there for you. And you don't want to get water on it either because these are reactive to water, these colors are. So tell me, any questions so far? I'm going to add double-sided foam adhesive to this. You know that I love Altenew's double-sided foam adhesive, so we're going to add some strips of this to it. I'm making sure my desk is not wet. There's nothing that's going to happen if I turn this over. And we're going to flatten it out, create a nice, beautiful flat piece. So when you're doing foam tape and you want it to be flat, see how it's a little bit warped? It never hurts to kind of start with an edge and then make sure you're flattening as you actually seal that foam tape to it. Do you see how I'm keeping it flat? Whoop. And already my piece is looking flatter. So just be cautious with it when you're doing it. It can make or break how flat it is. Okay, same up here. I'm gonna get it started. We're gonna try to keep it as flat as we can. Flat as we can. Go. That little edge may need to be trimmed off so it fits, but okay. And we'll do a few more strips. Oh, good. Thank you, Polly. Somebody said, I see a lot of pros for Saturday. What time on Saturday works best for all of you? At a certain time that, like middle of the day like this, so that you can still do some things with your Saturday. I got this one a little close too, sorry. Gotta do a trimmer. There we go. All right, and it's not perfectly flat, but we can work with that, don't worry. We need to work on this side. Carefully flatten it down. See how much better we're doing on the flat? Wonder if that'll fit up there. Getting better. Okay, let me put a couple strips in the middle. And you could just glue this to the background. You don't have to do the flat like I did, but I like having that little bit of raised. I think it makes this card look so special. Okay, so here is our beautiful thing. We will work on that in just a second. Let me grab our background. One key to a background like this is when you raise it up, you're gonna see a little bit of that color underneath it, so that if you put something like black behind it, then you're gonna probably notice that. So I'm keeping it with that same peachy glow, and I'm gonna glue this on, and then we'll add our thing to the center. So we're gonna glue, and then this is gonna be stuck up from the center. Thank you, Nancy. I didn't know that he did that does he do that every Saturday? Okay, so we're gonna go with some glue here. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of glue here, and we're gonna get this piece connected, and then we'll add that beautiful popped up part. So we're using today Garden Gala, sorry, I keep saying it wrong. And we're using, it's a Craft Your Life kit, but you could use any type of open floral right here. This one I think looks very interesting and kind of vintagey. And it does happen to have the curved sentiments, but you could use those curved sentiments. Okay, do my best to line this up right. Okay, if you got any edges that stick out, we can always trim those off. Let's see how we're doing here. Pretty good. Okay, and then we've got this that we're going to go in the center. Okay, good. Now I'm going to add a little bit of glue to these because I want to make sure that I get this placed perfectly. And then we're going to look at the new sequins from Altenew and use a few of those as just a little bit of extra sparkle on this page. And then really this card will be done and we'll get to move on to our next one, which we're going to use ink smooshing. We're going to use all kinds of things. I love the curved sentiments also. Okay, let's line it up carefully. I'm gonna add just a little glue to kind of move these edges if I need to. Just a couple of dots, it doesn't have to be a whole lot, but it gives you just time to kind of place it, and you'll probably see the top of my head. Denise, so Rachel, have you put the link to sorry, thinking about it. Rachel, have you put the link to the coupon code in there yet? She'll get it for you. Now, when you're lining it up, it's nice because you've got these connecting things here, so you can kind of connect your lines and know you're pretty good on your lining up. At the bottom, do you see how I'm doing that? So I can be pretty good right there. See, my side is lining up. Make sure this side's lining up. Ooh, look at that. Oh man, that looks awesome. Look at how that is. And all we did was just a little bit of ink blending. So I am going to use a few sequins. Let me see if I got my sequins out. And these sequins now have a container. I have not gone to put all of them in there, but there's like 6 different sizes of these sequins. This one is the Crystal Moonlight, and we're going to use just a few of these on here just to give it that little extra sparkle. I love this size, so I'm going to use a few of these. I'm going to use this one and some smaller ones. How about this one? Maybe these. And it's so fun to use different sizes. It's nice that they come in different sizes. So we got teeny tiny, and then we got these 3 larger sizes. And yes, I will put them in their little containers soon. It's these nice little containers that go together, and I will add those sequins there, but I figured y'all didn't want to watch me do that while I'm here. So yeah, so Rachel is putting the coupon code in. Let me also show you what we're going to be giving away, or talk about our giveaway, while I am adding these little sequins to here. I'm going to use my tool here. It's got a little wax end on it. I'm going to go ahead and put the dots of glue, and then I'm just going to add sequins to them. I feel like that's easier. So I go ahead and put my dot of glue, and then I'm going to grab a sequin and stick it on here. I actually want to pick it up the opposite way. I'm a little bit picky in that I want the flat side to go back on the card. Okay, so there's that one. I think I'm going to do a couple more. We'll go like one here, maybe one here. We'll do one of each size. Does that sound good to everybody? So this is the next size down. And I'm going to pick those up and put one right here. I do use my fingernail to kind of hold it down because the wax sometimes will want to take it. Oh good, code's working. That's great. That's great. So we are going to make 2 more cards in this live. These are the teeny ones. I love the teeny ones. I love the teeny ones. a little harder when I'm shaking and on live. Look at that. Oh, that looks good. So let me put these, close up your sequin things if you don't have them in your containers because you don't want to spill them. And then let me hold this up for all of you. Let's put this glue top on. See, we got any questions? No? All right, so tell me. Yes, I usually do too, Kathy. A lot of times I lay them out before I put them on the card, but if I'm just wanting to get the card done, sometimes I make myself do it this way, just because then you've already committed and you don't have to think about it for 20 minutes. So let me see if I can bring it up. So it gives just a smidge of sparkle, but look at see how this is on the peachy glow. I love that it has this layer, so I like to have this as big as possible. I love their vertical sentiments that also go with the curves. Very fun. Super fun. So I'm going to set that there while I put some things together, and we are going to make our next one. We're going to use a lot of cardstock for our next one. I am going to mute myself to blow my nose. Sorry about that. Keep telling me while I'm doing that, tell me, do you think I should have made this a shaker card? And do you see how I could have done that so easily? I could have created this background and put glittery things over it and reversed my foam tape. I could have put this one on the background. I could have lifted up the edges, and then that would be great. Okay, sorry about that. When I'm coming back from vacation and I'm a little bit snotty, sorry, I have to blow my nose. So do I always use 3 sequins? So 3 is my go-to, but I always use an odd number. So I either use 3, 5, 7, 9, but I also am really bad about overthinking the sequins. So sometimes I just tell myself I'm only allowed to do this, and that's what we're using. So as far as the foam tape that I'm using Altenew's foam tape. I would say that this is a 2mm thickness. I could be wrong on that, but I feel like it's about 2 millimeters. What that is in inches, I am not sure. So Denise, I agree. I think the shaker card would take away from it because you're showing off these beautiful colors. So I almost did it. I almost thought, okay, I'm going to bring this up. I'm going to push this back and we're going to have some shakers. But those are going to cover some of your beautiful coloring. And so I just couldn't do it. I liked it this way so much. Okay, so next we are going to work on the beautiful rainbow card. We're going to work on this one. But before we do that, I want to go ahead and stamp a couple of sentiments that we'll have cut out and ready for both cards. So we're going to stamp hugs and we're going to stamp hello on some white paper. We're going to do these two, and then we will cut those out so that we've got them for the next cards. So this is a great time to come in here and let me know what you're doing and what you're working on today. I'm going to put this back on, and then we'll get our hugs. Okay, hugs and hello. I love this hello. This actual font of the hello is kind of masculine to me, and I always need masculine cards and love making masculine cards, so I'm really excited about that specific hello. And then of course they got a ton of sentiments that go with these. So we're going to do hugs and hello. Let's grab a quick piece of paper. Doesn't have to be anything super special, but we're going to heat emboss it and cut it out. Okay, so I know I'm not even making it straight. No big deal. Just use a scrap piece of paper. Scrap piece of paper. We'll have our hello and our hugs. Pick these up with the stamp wheel. If you haven't used a stamp wheel before, you can put the stamp down, pick it up, lift it up, and it's out of your way. I am going to put just a little bit of anti-static powder on here, if I can find where I set the tool. Here it is. And today for the live giveaway, I will show you in just a second what we're doing. I keep meaning to do that, and then I keep getting to talking and forgetting. So for the live giveaway, it's going to be an item I believe Patty sent me, and y'all are going to die, okay? If you are excited about a live giveaway from Patty, will you just put a thumbs up or a P in the chat, and then I'll show you what it is. I'm telling you, it's worth getting excited about. If you're excited about a live giveaway, thumbs up or a P because it's from Patty in the chat. Where's my bigger one? Oh, here it is. This is the bigger one I like. Okay, and this one I just found my obsidian black, so we'll use the obsidian black and ink blend over that. Here it is. I found it. Okay, I see a P. I see. Okay, good. Everybody's excited. Look at what Patty donated for us. Okay, Patty, we appreciate you so much. This is from Patty Gates. She's out there in the chat, and here is what she's donated. Okay, charming clusters. This is going to be our live giveaway today. It's brand new. She's never used it, and I will mail it to you. Okay, charming clusters. I'm so excited to have that. Good. So that's our live giveaway. We will also have a replay giveaway if you want to enter. The replay giveaway will be this flower die. So this is for our replay. So just to enter replay, all you need to do is comment on the replay. So if you watch the live and you want to enter, go back once it starts over and comment on the replay too, okay? So when you comment in the live, comment, yeah, we got good. We got lots of people commenting. That's working. When you comment in the replay for this, why don't you comment which way? Would you use this as a pink flower or a purple flower? So put pink and purple are in the replay. All right. So we're going to do these really quick. Let's go ahead and get these stamped so we can get on to our other two cards. We doing okay? Yeah. Dyeing for the die. Which die is she talking about? Oh, for the nesting. Yes. And so last time we had, so Altenew recently started coming out with these nesting dies. I'm sure they had them way back when, but they came out. If you haven't seen my nesting die video on the triangles, you need to see it. It was one of my faves, and now they've come out with these arches, and now these are my faves. So I highly recommend their nesting dies. They sell out, so make sure if you're interested in it that you get it soon. I actually looked before this live to see how they were doing on stock, and I think they've got like 100 left. Mitzi can let you know, but I think they have about like 100 nesting arches left, and in the scheme of weekends of releases, that is not a whole lot. So grab it with your other coupon code if you can. If you decide you want that blue paper that's also on sale, grab that, but definitely use my affiliate link. Look at how crisp that is. This is a very crisp ink. You probably don't need to heat emboss it, but I like to heat emboss it just on the principle of I'm gonna smear it if I don't, okay? So let's go ahead and do a little bit of heat embossing on it, and then we will cut these out with a die and have them ready for our next cards. So let me go ahead and emboss. Yeah, they do go fast, Rena. So tell me too, if this is your first time in a live stream with me, will you say something? Say hi in the chat. And then we'll do one like Arlene. If you've been in almost every live with me, Arlene and Nancy, and probably Patty. If you've been in almost every live, give yourself a heart in the chat. Tell me if it's the first. Tell me if it's your millionth. Not that I've done a million lives. These sentiments are worth the whole cost of this Craft Your Life thing, but there's so many good things in this Craft Your Life. Okay, let me heat those up real quick. Let's get our heat gun going. I also need to clean this off, so I'll clean that in just a second. Oh, first time, yay! Oh, good, Nancy. Jan says, watched a few. Yeah, I've seen Jan in there. Nancy's that's probably how many hearts of one she's been in, because she's been in a lot. Oh, good, Mama. Mama J Horn, first live. Oh, that's so awesome. From warm and cloudy Florida. Yes, Kathy, I know you're an OG. I appreciate you, all of you. I appreciate it whether it's your first time or your 20th time. I love hanging out with you, and I appreciate you stopping by and chatting. in the lives when you can, and on the replay is just as good. So this needs to get a little bit hotter because it's taking a second. So, oh, okay, Spring and Bloom. So you've watched on replay, but you've never watched on live. Is that because you usually can't make it at the times that we have? Okay, there's Hugs. Boom. I love the magic of heat embossing. Y'all know I love it. Looks good. Okay. All right, I can turn that machine off now. Now let me wipe this off, and then we're gonna do some, and the reason I'm wiping this off before I do any die cutting is because when you heat emboss, it's melting plastic, and you need to let it cool off a little bit before you actually send it through an embossing machine, or you're going to smudge it and like kind of dent it. Thanks, Jan. You're so sweet. I'm glad. Somebody told me, I don't know if one of you's out there, but we were making, in a recent live stream, we were making emojis, and the one that the comment that got me cracked up the most was somebody said, "You are the happy face emoji." I was like, that is a great compliment. I think making cards is fun, so I'm glad that is translating to all of you. So I'm laughing at myself because I thought that was the greatest comment, that I was the happy face emoji. I was like, well, I will take that compliment any day. All right, let's put these two up. I'm going to feel and make sure those are nice and cooled off so we can cut out our sentiments. And then we're going to do a decent amount of die cutting. So if you have questions, things like that, while we're die cutting is a great time because I can kind of read while it's going through the machine. What does the crown with the number mean? Okay, so the crown with the number, when you comment on a live chat in YouTube, it notices how many times you comment, and the people that comment the most have a crown with where they rank in the most comments. So our number one commenter probably is always going to be Rachel, because she's my moderator and she's commenting and she's putting links in and she's doing things like that. But it will pop up, I think, and give you other people. I think it'll go like top fans, and it'll put you in a little ranking if you like the little thing. Yeah, I think she put it in there for you. It also helps me because it kind of highlights your name so I can see, oh, okay, yeah, that's Rachel. Okay, there's Arlene. There's, it just kind of helps you. Yeah. So this set also has dies. We're going to get those out, and we're going to cut out this hello and hugs. Move this out of the way. Another question that may not be related to this live stream, but that I would love to know is, we're going to use this in a minute too. I'm going to use this garden gala. This is just like, it's like patchwork, but it's going to look really good on the next background. So just going to leave that out for me. So I've got it ready. And then we're going to use these dies to cut out our hugs and hello. We'll cut these out. Let me put this back in so that I don't lose it. I love these little containers that Altenew has too. They have this little flap, and they have Altenew on the back. I think this one's that's a pretty big set. I'd say it's a 6x8. Really fun. Really good at keeping your stuff together. Okay, let's cut these two out. One trick that I always do when I'm die cutting, especially sentiments, is I don't leave them all on the same page, because as they roll through, sometimes it can move just a little bit, and that will cause you a little bit of trouble. Hey Joyce, thanks. Glad to have you back. So especially because your mat gets just a little bit warped over time, and so I'm going to add these, even though I've got this magnetic mat, I'm going to actually tape them down just a little, just to try to get the best cut. And then we got hugs. And okay, good. P. Yes, thank you, Patty. All right. Yay, so glad to have all of you. Here is going to be hugs, and I'm just lining it up and add just a little bit of tape. You don't want to tape over the embossing, but I'm just taping the metal and then taping it to the page right there. So I'm trying not to tape into my cut, but that will help you when you're cutting small things like this, because even just the slightest movement can move your die. That's very interesting. So somebody said, I don't know if you are storing your embossing powders in a container, but I learned to store them upside down. That's interesting. I'd love to hear more about that. Okay, and then what tape am I using? This is the purple tape. It's purple satin masking tape from Altenew. It may not be on my supply list, but it is from Altenew, and it works really well to hold things, and then you can still remove it without messing up the paper. So I have probably about 10, I might even stick it to my, they're usually stuck to my shirt, and I just use them over and over again. So I use this tape probably 4 or 5 times before it's done. I just had happened to clean off. Look at how good those look. These are gonna look awesome on our cards. So we're gonna set these aside so that I don't lose them, and we'll start looking at the cardstock that we're gonna use. So if you're thinking about buying cardstock today, I'm gonna show you lots of different colors. I'll show you real quick which pack is on sale so that you know. This is the pack that's on sale, and you're gonna see me make the 3rd card with this, okay? It's gonna be Iceberg, Ultramarine, and Azurite. They're all in the same color family, and that's what's on sale today with the exclusive coupon code. You do not have long to use that, so make sure you use it. If you're interested, I'll put these back in here so that I don't lose my dies. There we go. Okay, now we're gonna use, so this is gonna be for our last card. Let's make our rainbow card. Let me show you what colors we're using for that. Here's what we're doing. We're gonna use, and I'm gonna try to get all these in the screen, but Coral Berry, we're gonna use Warm Sunshine, Lagoon, okay, I know that one sometimes is like got a little line on it. Then we're gonna use Tide Blue. I got to clear out room on my desk here so I can fit all these. And Purple Wine. So that's Coral Berry, Warm Sunshine, Lagoon, Tide Blue, and Purple Wine. And we are going to cut out, and I'm going to show you that what we're cutting out today, you may think I'm going to cut it off and not use part of it, but we're going to create 2 different layered, rainbow layered dies that you could use on 2 cards. Now, one of them I'm not going to use today, but I will use soon, and I'll tell you some ways to use it. So when I did these dies and cut them out the first time, what made the most sense was when you look at your nesting dies, let me get them all back in order here, is to go every other one. That gave me enough room on my rainbow that I'm going to create. So I believe I started with this. I actually left that in there to check. So I'm starting with this size, which is the largest. And then I'm going to go every other, okay? Sometimes that's hard to see, but I'm going to do every other. So we have here, then not that one, that one, and this one. We're going to do it till we have 5 layers. And this one. Can you see on the sheet how I've done every other one? So I've taken every other arch, and that gave us 5 arches, which is what we need. We're going to cut out these 5 arches in different color cardstocks, and then we're going to create a couple of cool things. I'm going to show you some interesting things. So for our largest one, we're going to start with Coral Berry. So let me get some cardstock out. And let me see what time it is. I would say, yeah, this is one of my faves. I love this color. This is Coral Berry, beautiful pink color. When I cut out large dies like this, I tend to take my scissors and just cut a rough estimate so that I don't send the whole page through, okay? I'm gonna have to make a stack over here, so let me make a stack. And then for this background of this card, we're actually gonna use some ink smooshing, and we're going to use some beautiful re-inkers, and we're going to use some pearls. So I think you're going to be real surprised about this next one. It's really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and get these cut out, and then I can send them through the machine. So we got Warm Sunshine as our second color. Go ahead and put that over here too. And I will go ahead and start sending them through, so we're getting there. Okay. So next will be G, Roy G, Biv. So we're going to do a lagoon. Okay, here's our beautiful Warm Sunshine. I just love it. I don't know what the deal is with this shape, but I love this shape. Okay, let's send through our Coral Berry. Get out our lagoon. Now, how are you, how are you storing your paper? Are you using the original packaging like I have this right here, or are you using something different? I'd love to hear that in the chat. Okay, we got our big one. So here's how these are kind of going. Look at how cool this is going to look. Okay. Roy G. Biv, remember? So we're going with our reds, orange, greens, blue, purple. Yeah, that lagoon is very pretty. I love that set with lagoon too. It's one of my fave sets. I actually need some refills on that one. Okay, so we got our beautiful lagoon. Get rid of these. And this. And now we need the blue and the purple. And that blue and purple might fit on the same one. Let's see here. So I do them in order because I know that I will mess up my cutting if I don't do that. Okay, cool. You store them hanging in a hanging file box. That's a good idea. Yeah. So I don't know if y'all have seen my video on how I store a lot of papers, but now I've gotten to where I have so many papers, I have a lot of different storage methods because, you know, you need to use your vertical storage. Sometimes you got to use some flat storage. So I have lots of different ways that I love to do it. I would love to have an individual pocket for each color. I just have so many of the Altenew right now. I don't have quite enough pockets to put them in, but that's my ideal. I would like to, because I don't like this sticky part right here. I'd rather it be in a pocket that doesn't have that on it. Whoops. That means I didn't make it fast enough to get that out of the die, the die machine. Okay, I'll grab that. Hang on, I'm going to go off camera to grab that. So my die cutting machine is on a rolling cart. And so if something goes through it, I'm just going to do that later. If something goes through it and falls off the other side, I'm going to have to go pick it up. Yeah, this original packaging though, save it for what I'm about to do, a technique with this extra plastic. So if you do remove the original packaging, save it in a drawer or something like that so that you can use it. So I got to go back here to grab these. It's still fine. Sorry, that fell on the floor. It's okay, it's fine. It survived it. I was wrong on my timing. That went through too fast. Okay, let's do our purple, and then I'm gonna show you how to stamp on these and create some fun rainbow looks. So this last color was Purple Wine. I'll try to catch it this time. I caught it this time, yay. Okay, let's look at all these colors together. Alrighty. I did a reel on this. If y'all don't follow me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. I just love watching colored paper go together like this. I don't know if y'all do, but I love it. So these all fit inside. It's one of those fun things with the nesting dies. You can do all these different colors. And we're gonna get it all glued together, and I'm gonna stamp a sentiment in one of these sections. So I'm going to get it nice and lined up, glued together, and then we're going to create a beautiful background. Oh, that's a good idea, Arlene. Arlene, I'm sorry, I haven't even thought about that. I should have folded the sticky tab under. Oh, okay. Okay, so we're going to start with this one. We're going to use some glue. I'm going to be using Barely Art glue today. And I'm just going to line them up by look. And the reason I'm going on and gluing them together is because we need to do some stamping on them. We also are going to do some trimming down to create a couple things. I really think that even the scraps from this could be used to make an amazing card. You'll see what I mean in just a minute. Let me line these up, which means you might see the top of my head. Now is a great time for y'all to tell me which of these two cards do you have to try soon? I mean, and you could use squares, you could use whatever you wanted to. You could use ovals. Which one are you going to try next? Oh, yeah. Yes, Barely Art is my favorite glue for sure. And I'm just trying to keep them where they're supposed to be spaced. It's probably about 1/4 of an inch of space. Okay. That one I feel like is a little bit off. Okay, one more. Oh, good. You want to try them both. That sounds like a perfect plan. Okay, so we are going to put this on here just to kind of make sure we've smushed everything down, because you do have, these are paper, so you're going to have kind of a layered effect here. So I'm going to hold that down for just a second. Both. All right, and we're going to look at these arch sentiments again, decide how we're going to stamp this, and then I will work on the background. Actually, the background has to dry just a little bit, so let's do the background first. We'll let this sit over here with some pressure on it. And we are going to use a watercolor background. So Altenew has this watercolor paper that's already cut to an A2 size, which is really nice. We're going to use that. We're going to use some re-inkers, this Ocean Waves, and we're going to use some Perfect Pearls that I have mixed up in this water here. So you see I have pearls mixed. Can you see the shimmer there? Okay, we're going to use that as well. So let me get out our mat. We're going to use our, this is where that extra paper comes in. Let's see here. Okay, so if you had a preference, what would you use for nesting dies? I know I saw some ovals. Has anybody tried the triangles yet? Okay, so this is Ocean Waves, and I just put a couple drops right there. I'm going to add some pearls to it. And you'll see this makes like almost like a shimmery color. Okay? And I'm going to add just a little bit of plain water to the paper because it is watercolor paper, so it kind of takes the color better when it has that. Let me grab an excess piece of plastic just from your wrapping, and I'm going to take it, crinkle it up, and we're going to put it on this page. Okay. If you want it less concentrated, you could add a little bit of water to it. I think we can add some water or some more water to the page. But I'm just going to go with it. This is kind of reminded me of clouds. And so I'm kind of creating a cloud background, and then we're going to also use some embossing on it, okay? So, but it gave it a nice shimmery look. and I just thought it looked really cool. So however you want, just to get some color down, you can do some splatters on it, whatever you want to do. I think I'm going to add a little bit of water splatters. And I'm going to do them like Tiffany does. Put them in my hand and just drip a little bit of water on it. Okay. And then we are going to put this through with an embossing folder. We're going to use this embossing folder on it. And it looks so much to me like clouds. You want some open water space just so you can see that it's kind of cloudy looking. I feel like I want one more spot. Where did I put the plastic? Oh, there it is. I feel like I want to fill in this one spot right here. Okay. And I may just put like a couple of extras down here. Okay, there you go. Now, I'm going to remove this because it's still wet. Give it a second. We're going to clean this off. You answer questions. Oh, you haven't tried triangles yet. Triangles are really fun. They're really great for Christmas. I had so much fun with those triangles and using them for Christmas. You can make trees out of them, and you can also do a lot of great, I've got a whole video on masculine cards with them. Love masculine cards with geometric shapes. It looks so nice. Okay, let's move all of that off here. Now, when you send your paper through an embossing folder, you're going to get some of the excess off. But it's good for it to be wet. It gets a nice, good impression. And you could go and you could do white dots. You could do all kinds of stuff here, but I'm going to keep mine pretty simple so that you can see how much of an effect you get just from doing that. Yeah, why I keep trash in my drawer, that's funny. Okay, so there's two sides to embossing folders. The raised side is going to be on the back of this because we want it to push up these to look like rectangle fluffy clouds. Okay, so I've got just a little bit of excess water right here that I'm going to touch with a thing here, just so that it's not like spreading around too much. Just a spot that's a little bit wet. And like I said, it still should be somewhat wet. That actually makes it emboss even better. So we're going to line this up however you want to. You could do it sideways, whatever. But I thought this was just the perfect background for this beautiful, what's going to be a beautiful rainbow card. So I'm going to send this through. I'm using my spellbinders and I'm going to pick it up, put it up here. Yeah, Festive Trees was a great set that goes with those triangles, those nesting triangles. This is going to be a cool background. Here we go. So, is this spring break for a lot of you? If you've got kids, is this their spring break? This is the end of spring break for me. I don't know if everybody goes on spring break. The name of the stamps used for the first card. Okay, I'll get that for you. Let me just show off how cool this is going to look. Look at that. Does that look like clouds to you? It does to me. I just thought it looks like clouds. And we're going to put our bright colors on it. So it does need to dry a little bit, and you'll see I got just a little bit of wetness here in the actual embossing folder because like I said, it wasn't dry when we did it. So we'll set that aside for a minute and then I'll show you how amazing that looks. So this embossing folder is Garden Gala, and that's the same name of the stamp set that we used for the first one. So somebody was asking that. It's the Craft Your Life Kit Garden Gala, and that or gala. I'm sorry, I am not good at that word for some reason. And it's got these fun arch sentiments. So we're going to set this aside, let it dry completely. And we're going to work on this. Okay, we're going to add some of these arch sentiments. So I wanted to do thinking of you today, my friend, because I'm going to put hugs on there. It could also be sending strength and positive vibes. I just wanted it to be one of the arches because I want to show you how fun that is to arch on here and stamp. So we'll do thinking of you today, my friend, and decide which arch we're going to put it on. It can be any of them. You may have to adjust it just a little bit in your machine. So I'm going to do either the yellow or the green. Let's see how it seems to be looking. So I'm going to set it right here for a second. We're going to do a little bit of embossing powder because I'm going to heat emboss this in white. So I'm going to go ahead and emboss this. I know that scares you when it's colored cardstock, but I promise it'll come off. So we're going to add lots and lots of powder. Okay. So Angie says, what do you do with all the cards you make during the lives and other times? So I do several things with my cards. One, so being YouTuber, you have to hang on to your cards for at least a year if you've made a video on them, because there's always a chance you can reuse that footage and that kind of thing. But all the extras, a lot of times I'll do them as giveaways during the lives. And I do some crafty, like things that raise money, auctions. I don't normally sell them. Sometimes people ask specifically for a certain one and I will sell them if we need to. And I know that Patty's bought a couple of my cards, but generally I am giving them to friends. I am donating them. I am keeping them for a while to make sure I don't need more video footage on them, or giving them away. Okay, so I think I'm going to go with the green right here because we're going to be doing white and I don't know how well it'll show up. And then I'm going to adjust these edges just a little bit because it just needs to come down a little bit more. So you can always look at it in your stamp wheel, and make sure. I'm not quite sure we're exactly centered, so hang on. Okay, so that's about center. And then we're going to have to bend it just a little bit. So let me pick it up. And then I'm going to just barely lift the edge and bend, and then we'll double check that we got it fitting right. Okay, this part needs to come in just a little bit more. Sorry, I have to think when I do this. Okay, that should have most of it on there. Okay, I think we got it cleared to be all on green. Let me just double check. Yeah. Now I'm going to use clear embossing. Busy for Altenew today. Thank you, Carrie. I know. Okay, so Lois is asking, and Rachel will pop in a link for you there. She will get that going for you. We will do our live giveaway in just a minute, but right now let's get through this couple little tips on this, and then while I'm putting together this card, we'll do that live giveaway, and then we've got our surprise card coming up with another way to use these. So I just put clear ink on here, and I've already put some anti-static powder, and now I'm just going to make sure I get a good stamp. So thinking of you today, my friend. See it there? It's a little, I could have bent that just a little bit more. Because it's a kind of more porous paper, since it's colored cardstock, you might want to do this a couple times just to make sure you've got good wet ink. So I'm going to do it twice just to make sure that ink doesn't sink down into this paper too much. All right, and I know Rachel's putting my links in there. Thank you, Rachel. She's so helpful. Yes, these arch sentiments do come in that kit. I bet there will be more, but this is all that's out right now. You can take a regular one and arch it. It's a little bit more of a process, but you can arch anything. I can probably show you that really quick if you need me to. You could take any longer sentiment and bend it around like that and not hurt it. Okay, now we need our white embossing powder. This is a Wow Opaque Bright White. So they're asking if there are arch sentiments sold separately. That's a good question. Mitzi, are you able to answer that? Or Rachel, do you know? So I'm trying to get my white embossing powder on here. I don't know that there are. Okay, so here is my white embossing powder. I'm just double checking that I don't have any little parts of it anywhere else. And then we'll heat it up and you'll see how it just pops out and looks so good. Yeah, I think it's in this March Craft Your Life kit. If you are needing some type of subscription, Craft Your Life is definitely one of my favorites just because it has so much stuff in it. But it also, usually it'll be a subscription and then eventually it'll come out as a regular thing, I think. Just ask Mitzi on that one for sure. Okay, let's heat this up. I'm gonna have to get my gun hot. Be super careful that you do not have white on other parts of this color. A little hard for me to be sure, but we're just gonna hope. Okay. Thank you. I love the colors too. Carrie, I'm so glad you made it. I hope you had a lot of fun with the workshop. I'm gonna show y'all on a blank piece of paper how you could do this with another sentiment though. Try not to warp it. There you go. Okay. I can tell when I did that I didn't have this glued really well, so I'm going to add just a smidge of glue right there. Just need a little bit more glue. And always comes in handy to have this, kind of press things down. Yep, good. All right, so there you go. Thinking of you today, my friend. And then to get that powder off, we're going to use a microfiber. Thanks, Carrie. She's so sweet. All right, and I'm going to use this just to get my colors back and bright. I may have gotten one little dot of white right there. That's okay, we'll figure that out. So if you get, hopefully I've got it in here. I don't see my mono sand eraser, but you can kind of pick off, if you get like a little white spot like this, you can usually get it off pretty easily. Let's see if we can do it with a regular eraser. Just kind of knocking that area off. Okay, there we go. So it may still have a little bit of a dot there. That's okay, we can put a sequin on it if we need to. All right, so now we've got our sentiment, we've got this. Let me show you how to make it into two crazy, amazing cards. This takes a little bit of effort, and you're gonna see me be very cautious with it. So I'm gonna use this, but when I use this guillotine trimmer, there's so many pieces of paper in here. You really need to hold on to this. Really hold on to it so that you can get the cut that you need. So I'm going to go about to right here. Make sure I've got enough room past my, go right about here. Now to do this, I'm going to hold lots of pressure down. I'm going to probably have to hack at this just a little bit because it's so many pieces of paper. It's 1, 2, 3, it's 5 different pieces of paper, okay? So it's gonna make your cut want to move. So I'm really, really holding, and I'm going kind of slow. And yes, it's probably gonna shake everything. Okay, and I'm gonna go slow. And I could do this with scissors if I was confident in that, but I want my upward pressure. When it gets to the 5, it gets a little bit more difficult. And I've got most of it. So when you got most of it, you can also just take your scissors and go along there. Even with scissors, it's hard because it's so many pieces of paper. Oop, there you go. Okay, now I have this beautiful piece, and I have this beautiful piece. So here's my idea for this one. I haven't done it yet, but don't worry. Yeah, I could put a little gem on that white spot. So here's what I'm thinking with this. I think if you did a couple of these, you could make a card that opens like this. So this could be part of your, you could trim a little bit off, and this could be the opening of like a centerfold in a fun fold. Maybe happening soon, we'll see. I've got another piece that I could use. So I just think it would look really cool on a card. So don't throw that away. That's a really nice layering piece. But this is what we're working with today. And if I need to trim any more off of that, that's perfectly fine. Let's see how our background's doing. Here's our background to me that looks like a cloud. And then I'm going to put this right in the middle. Look at how cute that is. Yes, we will. Let's play with some gems over that. This is still ever so slightly damp, so let me give it a second. And then we're going to use this in the middle as well, just because I think it looks super cute. Doesn't that look cute? All right. So, Rachel, if you are there, let's go ahead and do our live stream giveaway. They need to answer a question. Let's decide what that question could be. How about tell me your number one used item in your craft room. Is it a die cutting machine, a paper trimmer? Is it stamps or a specific stamp set? Tell me the number one thing that you use in your craft room all the time, that you use for almost every card. Answer that in the chat, and Rachel will pick a winner from this live stream of this beautiful Altenew Charming Clusters. So make sure you answer it. We'll give them a little bit of time to answer, and then we will pick a winner. Paper trimmer. Okay. Oh, Cricut machine. Okay. I see one question, and I may have to scroll back down to that. When you place the sentiment on this arched piece, it said something like, could you align it through the clear plate? Yes. It's Betsy that has the question. Let me see if I can get back to Betsy's question. Hang on just a second. When placing the arched sentiment, couldn't you align it when you ink it, since the design is visible through the plate? When you ink it. Sorry, my live brain doesn't always work as well as my regular brain because so much is going on. When you ink it. That is a great question. I'm not sure exactly what she means. Yeah, I can't do without my trimmer either. So here's this, and then let's put like a couple little sequins on it, and we'll cover up that little mistake that we made. So let me get some adhesive here. We're going to use double-sided adhesive from Altenew, because I like to use a double-sided adhesive when I'm attaching to something that's like this. It just seems like it sticks a little bit better if it's got raised areas. So Rachel, let me know when you pick a winner from all those comments. Lots of paper trimmer. Oh, somebody says embossing folders. You know I love embossing folders. Oh my goodness. I don't know what I'd do without my embossing folders either, but I guess I have to have a paper trimmer and a die cutting machine. I would say die cutting machine probably on every single thing that I make. Okay, let's line this up and then we'll add some sequins. Okay, who is the congrats? I'm looking. Congrats, congrats. Who won? I missed that because I was looking away. If the next comment could tell me who it was, that'd be great. Oh, Jan. Jan, is that Jan Castle? Jan Castle win? Okay, well, you need to make sure you email me and I will send you, because I'll need your address to be able to send you that, and I will get it sent out this week. Okay, so I'm going to put my little beautiful rainbow right here. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and add hugs, and then we'll add a couple of sequins. The sequins actually might look really cool on this. See what we think. If I can get this off. Oh, good, Jan. Congrats. We still have a replay winner, so don't forget, if you want to register on the replay, the question is, what would you use? So this is the replay. I'm actually going to write Jan on this so I don't forget. Let's find my pen. Let's put Jan won this one. Jan. Okay. And then this replay, the question is pink or purple. What color would you make this flower? Pink or purple? And this is a die for that, okay? And that will be our replay winner. It'll be announced in a week. And I usually put it in the pinned comment who won. Okay, I'm gonna put hugs right in the center. And then let's add some jewels once again so that we can cover up that little spot. Let's just put a couple, let's do the little small ones. Now, since I may not be as bold on this one, how I want to do it, I'll probably go here, 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 here. Let's look at it. Right there, maybe. Maybe up here. Maybe right here. Just use all the same color, or all the same. And it's kind of around the sentiment. 1, 2, 3. Maybe I'll put like 2 or 3 down here. Let's put some different sizes. That way it can have a few. Or maybe I'll go 4 because it's going to kind of trail off the page. It's kind of like, meow. You'll like how I do that? It goes in the replay. So tell me in the replay. I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to put like 2 here, I think. Let's do a smaller one. I still feel like I need a couple more, so let me do a couple more. Maybe one more that trails off. I'm sorry, I'm just being quiet here for a second. Yes, in the comments of the replay. Okay, so I'm going to go 3 and 4. How about that? Boom. Now we just got to add a little glue to these. So I'll do those. Our next one is going to be building an entire card, and it's got so many different options. We're going to keep the card pretty simple, but I'm going to say that it could be possibly a masculine card because we're going to use that beautiful hello, and we're going to use the paper that is on sale today with my coupon code. So Robin says, is she the only one who likes to do even numbers? Maybe, I don't know. I like the numbers being odd. Actually, I need to do this. So I'm just gonna try to set these down. I'll try to do this fast, sorry. If y'all got questions, let me know. Our next card is a surprise card, and we're gonna be using the colors that are on sale. It's the Azurite, I think it's Ultimate, it's a little package of it called, it's got a name, I'm sorry. If Misty can put that in there, or Rachel, what the name of the pack is. So we're adding sequins because we made a little mistake and we're covering it up. Always a great way to cover up a mistake. So here's where we made our mistake. I got just a smidge of embossing, white embossing on it. And so I'm going to put a sequin right there. Of course, now I got a little glue there. Okay. That's good to know. So is the consensus odd or even on numbers of sequins? And there's no like wrong answer. I just like the look of odd. So we're going to go with 7 today. So we covered up our mistake right there. We got 3 down here, 4, 5, 6, 7. So an odd number. You see that? Yeah, I think that it can be any of them. I think you could do even or odd. I just tend to lean towards the odd. So let's see how many people I got there. Let's see how many odds and evens we got. So put your vote in the chat. All right, so that's that. Next, we are using this pack of papers, which is what is on sale today. This pack of papers is, and it's like multicolors blue. I have already pre-die cut this because this card is going to take a bit of assembling, but this is our bonus card today. It hasn't been on social media. I am making it for the first time, so you will have to bear with me. If I make mistakes, no big deal. We'll figure it out, okay? So we'll figure it out. Let me show you what I've pre-cut for this. Okay, I cut tons of this one size. Here's what we're gonna do. I got this idea. I saw something and I believe it might be on the printables. Altenew sometimes does printables for their cards. They do printables like for the release. And I think this was on the printables. I don't think anybody's made this. I think it was just a computer generated one that I thought, ooh, I can do that. So this is accent opaque. This is just my base weight cardstock. Okay, it's not anything special, just white cardstock. And here's what I'm thinking. We'll have to see how this comes together, but here are our colors. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to make a card that is multi-layers of scallops, like this. Okay, and we could do it this way if we wanted. Let's see. We could do it and just do it as like 3 layers this way. But I think that there could be some really cool uses for this. And then I'm going to trim the white edges off so you can't see them. So we could do it this way. That's perfectly fine. We just need to overlap and kind of put our pieces in. Or we could go this way. Or we could go with it this way. This way, I think I need to do 2 layers of each color. So let's kind of go here, here, here. We're going to need to do this probably with glue as well because we need to kind of do some overlap and there may be some trimming on this card, but I'm going to stick with 3 And I think I'm gonna do 2 layers. So I'm gonna go to maybe here, and then we go, and we're just gonna build a card. I need to think about it for just a second to see what I want to do here. 2 layers of blue, 2 layers of the medium blue, like this, 2 layers of the light blue. I feel like this could possibly be a masculine card. And then I'm going to, so it's gonna be almost like you could bend them up and it'd be like feathers. So do you use lighter weight paper when you're layering heavily? Yes, I do. Since I need a good sturdy flat base, I'm using a heavy weight on the back, but all of these are like 90 pound, I believe. Let me double check. 80 pound. So this cardstock that we're using, we got 80 to 88 pounds. So it's a little bit lighter. Let's see if there's any other questions. Now, to do this, I think I'm going to start, let me get all my colors together. So this is our medium color right here, which the medium is the ultramarine. The dark is the azurite, and this is iceberg. Okay, so I've got my mediums here. I've got the dark ones here, right here, and we got our light ones. The other thing that, and I know I have an extra one of these, the other thing I think would be cool for this, and I'll show you at the end, but remind me to show you how we could score this and make it like a peekaboo card. Today we're just gonna layer it up because I think it's gonna look amazing layered up, and I think you could even die cut out of it. It would look super cool, but we're gonna create this ombre look, and we're gonna use just our hello that we already cut out. We may put a little blue string or something like that, but we're gonna use our hello. So I'm gonna layer the whole thing, just trying to decide how to do that because like I said, I haven't made this card yet, so let me think about it for just a second. It's gonna look good right there. You could even leave it like this and not layer the whole thing, but I think it would look so cool. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, so we're going to, I think I'm gonna start kind of with this middle one right here, and I'm gonna try to do as little cutting as I can and just layer things together. So this is approximately the middle. I'm gonna go ahead and start sticking things to it. Actually, let's start from the top. Sorry, like I said, I haven't done this yet, so hang on. And you know I'm just guessing, so it's just putting a card together. You think I should start from the bottom with the lightest color? Cheryl does. Let me think about that. I think you're correct. Hang on, let's start that way. We'll leave that other one on. It means we're gonna have to take and trim that, but it's gonna make a nice, beautiful look. Okay, we're going with Cheryl's idea to start from the bottom, which I think is very good idea. And I know I should probably like measure this spacing, but I'm just kind of going with it. So we'll take this guy off for now. Okay, is this my middle color? Yep. Oh, my husband is cooking in the other room. It smells so good. Okay. the dark one. And if we need to add some extra layers, we can. Okay, good. Yes, you could trim them and save some paper. I know that you could do that for sure. We'll see. I may have needed to do one extra layer. I'm just approximating my spacing too, which may be off. I could repeat the pattern. That actually looks kind of good. Let's do that. We may have to do a couple little extra die cuts. And yes, I'm going to trim it off the top, but let's go ahead and see how many we need here. Yes, I think that this could look really good. You could definitely trim these. Like I said, I'm doing this on the fly, so you have to kind of hang in there with me. This is a lighter weight paper, but it's definitely going to be, so I'm definitely going to have to trim this off for sure. So I think this is going to look amazing. Okay, this is about how thick it is. Really less than foam tape. Okay, so let's start. I'll probably have to cut out a few more of these blues. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut the white, and the edge of it's going to be that scallop as well. Ooh, that's going to be cool. Okay, let's start going again. That is actually going to look really cool. Okay. And I guess you could do them at different colors and mix it up. I also thought this would look really cool with some glitter cardstock. But when I found out, okay, yeah, Jen, if you need my email list, are you on my mailing list? Because you can always reply to one of those emails, or under, I just hate saying my email out loud in a live, but it is also in the links of, when you go to my YouTube and you're looking at my actual page, it'll have links, and it has to email me. It also has it on my blog, which is nickyheartscards.com. So any of those places you can get to email me without me saying in the live what my email address is and having bots drive me crazy. Yeah, there's an even number of these, yes. Yes, so I don't mind that at all. Yeah, I think we'll need to cut out a few more of these. But I just want to show you that not only this, you really could do some die cutting on top of what you've already laid down, which I think would look pretty nifty. So just remember, you've got so many options. Like, what if you went in and cut a square or circle out of the middle of this? Oh, that'd be so cool. Okay, we need a couple more of those. So I need one. So we need a couple more of the light colors, but look at how that's looking. I'm going to cut this little spot out with scissors so that the bottom is scalloped also. You're welcome, Jan. Okay, so do we have enough of everything else? We got 2 more of these. That's all we need of those. We got 2 more of these. That's all we need of those. We just need we need 5 of the light color. So let's do just a smidge of die cutting while we're chatting here. So tell me too, when you are in your craft room, is there some die that you use almost on every card? Like, do you always use a rectangle nested die? Do you always use, are you a big circle person? Or is it more whatever the stamp set and everything calls for? I'd like to know that as well. I wish I had multiple of these dies, but I only have one, so we'll have to send it through 5 times. I think it's this size. Yep, that's the size. Okay, so let me start sending it through and I'll answer questions. Yes, me too, Arlene. I can't, I'm all over the place. I don't always use the same thing on every card. So I agree. Whatever the card calls for is what I tend to use. Do y'all have a favorite Altenew set? Last time we talked a little bit about that with stencils, and I got to look up some things, and I really love that. So if you have a favorite Altenew set, pop it in the comments. Because I do not have every Altenew set, despite what you might think. I have a decent amount of Altenew, but I do not have all the sets, and I love seeing what y'all are really enjoying and looking at it. Yeah, I love the garden gala too. Gala. Feathered lilies. Well, Rachel, I don't have feathered lilies. I need to look at that. Yeah, it's nice to have that nested rectangle, especially if you're not super confident in your paper trimmer. So I have an amazing paper trimmer that I tend to cut all of my rectangle panels. But if you are not, if you're not great at that, it's so good to have those die rectangles. They just make it so easy. Ooh, hexagons. We need some hexagons, don't we? Japanese camellia. Need to try that too. We are almost there. Is that going to fit? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love all the florals. And I love that there's so many different types of florals you can use. There's the outline ones, there's stamped ones. Let me mute myself for just a second to cough. Okay, sorry about that. Been on planes, and so I'm a little bit under the weather today. So if you hear me starting to cough, I'll just try to mute myself. Okay, I think that gives us enough. So let's keep on layering this up. So this would be really thick to do a die cut out of, but it could easily be done. Easily be done. I can't wait to cut those bottom edges off. I think that's going to look so interesting. Oh, I forgot to put one up here. Need one up here. Here's our middle color. Yeah, nested hexagons. That's a great idea. I don't know. Does Altenew have nested hexagons? Is that one of their options? I do not have those, if so. I would love to have those. Oops, wrong one. Wrong color. Here it is. I had started gluing this one on earlier. Now, if you are going to cut this panel up, you definitely want to let the glue dry. Yeah, translucent foliage. I love that one. I have a video on that one. That's a great one. I love that big open flower. So beautiful. So have y'all tried doing anything like this, like layering all the nested dies like this before, where you just make a pattern on a card? These things can be so beautiful. Sometimes it's just exactly what I'm looking for. And this one would be a good mermaid card. I was thinking it might go more masculine, but I think it would be a great mermaid card. Especially if you decided you were going to use some like sparkle spray or something on a couple of the what looks like fish scales. Oh man, look at that. So let's trim off our back part here. And then I'm going to trim around this. I'm going to use my smaller scissors to do this trimming. And you're just getting your white behind the blue. So you're kind of, just so there's no white visible, which can sometimes be hard, but that's okay. We can do hard things. So, Deborah, you can find the embossing folder in that Garden Gala kit. If you don't want to buy the whole kit, another good option would be from the last release. It's called Textured, oh, what is it called? Textured Panels. It's got like 4 squares. I did a video on it. It would be a nice substitute and would look good as that sky as well. It's got 4 different panels and kind of like a middle. Can y'all tell that I cut better when I'm cutting from this side? Got like one little piece right there. Okay, and then I'm going to show you what the other idea I had for this. That is using this as like, you could have a little pop-up that flaps open just by creating these little nested dies. So I'm going to grab my scoring board and I'm going to show you what I mean, because I think that'd be another bonus way to use this. I just didn't have time to get that ready today. Yeah. So you think my kids, you think my boys will notice this looks like a mermaid, or they'll just think it's like shapes? Maybe I should save this for one of my nieces. Okay, so, and I'll chop this part off with, I'll chop this off too. Look at how cute that looks. Oh my goodness. Does that look great or what? Let's chop that top off. I'm gonna do that probably with this just because it's several layers. Let's see how we can do it here. Let's see if we can get that under control. Okay. That's going to be easier with scissors. It's just hard to get through it. Yeah, that would be a cool embossing folder to do this. So I thought about embossing the individual scales, and I thought that would be cool too. Actually easier to do with my scissors. It's just so many pieces of paper. Okay. Look at that. Oh goodness, that looks so good. Okay, let me show you with my trimmer how I think you could make a cute little pop-up card, and we will look at that. So here's what I was thinking. I was thinking that if you did a scale card like this and you took your embossing thing and say this is going to be your primary fold right here, and then you created like a 1/4 of an inch one. You could take this, okay, fold it back, and then you have a little pop-up. So instead of it being all flat, you could put these in here and they could pop up, and you could even stamp underneath right here. Like you could stamp hi or something like that. I just think that would be cute too, to have a little pop-up. And the way that these nested dies are, you can just create your own little place, glue that, and then this part can move freely. This is the one I messed up in case you're wondering what's wrong with that. Wouldn't that be cute? And yes, if you embossed, you could potentially emboss this whole thing. It's a lot of paper, so I don't know that it would get through all of it, but you could emboss individual scales. Like I could have embossed the dark scales and added them on here. Sorry, need a little bit more glue right here. And that would have been cool, like if you just took this layer and embossed it, or you just took this layer and made it a pop-up and had something cute underneath. That would be cute. That's why my craft room is getting way too full. So the other thing you could do with this little scale thing is, because it looks like scales, it would look really cute with some holographic paper. Let's just hold some glitter or something over there. Like if you had a glittery scale or like a glittery sentiment, wouldn't that look cute? Oh my goodness. So let's look at what one of these looks like run through the embossing folder, and that way you can see what it would look like on here. And then we'll finish up. I'll finish this card, put that on social media. I think I might put a little bit of like silver thread behind it. So if we were doing, say we were using this one for the embossing, let me get it just a little bit wet. Probably too wet, but let's say we wanted to make an embossed pattern on a scale. Let's see what we think here. So what if we made that embossed pattern? Let me send it through. I'm just going to send it off camera. This would look cool. Sorry, having to bend down to my floor to do this. Y'all tell me which of these cards is your favorite. Which one are you going to try? Who are you going to use it for? Look at this. You could also emboss it, and it has even more texture. See how that looks? That would look cool. You could do that with flowers. Oh my goodness. That's awesome. So these are the colors that are on sale in the pack. I am going to add a little bit of sparkle to this, maybe with some, if I can find some silver thread, I might put some silver thread on it. If you did not see the previous cards, you can always watch the replay. But let's vote. Let's go card number 1. Card number 1, right here. Card number 2. And card number 3, if you can see it. Card number 3. Vote 1, 2, or 3 for me. This one feels so substantial because it's a lot of pieces of paper. I really like the feel of it. And I think that you could probably, even with it being this many pieces of paper, I think you could take it and cut another die out of it. Like, I think you could take it, and if you've got it glued and dried, I think you could do this and cut out another arch, or cut it sideways or something. It would be really cool. So yes, I'll find some silvery thread and put it behind this beautiful hello and cut this down. It needs just a little bit of trim off each side, and that makes it an A2. Number 1, number 2, and number 3, which I still need to put the hello on. All right, and I've got things coming up. I want to tell you that I have some amazing videos coming up. My next one for Altenew will be at the end of this month. If you haven't known yet, I am now a member of the design team on Altenew, so you know you will be seeing regular content for them if you're big Altenew fans. And I will be on that. I'll do a video on their channel and my channel at the last week of this month. So that one's going to be more masculine cards, and it's going to be using some of this clear 3D paste, which really gives a cool look. Oh, Deborah, that is a great idea. She said you could put like a fishing pole or a fishing lure, and this could be a Father's Day card. That's true. That would look really good. You could try to stamp over it. It'd be hard because it's all different layers. You could stamp something on there, like a couple little flowers. These are the other 2 that I made for this. Thank you. These are the other 2 that I made for the release, plus 3 or 4 more that are going to be in the video. So just hang tight. Lots of fun things. I hope y'all enjoyed making this little scales card with me. I just thought I would experiment with those colors so you could see how the colors go together if you're deciding to do that cardstock. Make sure if you're shopping this weekend that you use my code. And if you're watching the replay, make sure you tell me on the replay if you would like this in pink or purple, and which way you would use it, and that will enter you on the giveaway for this. Thanks so much, everybody. I appreciate all of you being here. If you haven't done it yet, hit the thumbs up. That helps me so much. And it helps me to get more people on the replay. Every little thing makes a difference. And I appreciate all of you so much. Let me try to get these all in the car, all in the thing here. Sorry, still haven't put my hello on yet. I think I'm gonna put some silver behind it. You think I should do silver? You think I should do something like um, more sequins? All right, thank you. And Rachel, thanks so much for being here. I appreciate it so much. A couple more people hit the thumbs up. Somebody accidentally hit the thumbs down, so hit the thumbs up if you did. All right, I hope that y'all are having a great day. Make sure you comment on the replay if you want to enter into that giveaway, and make sure you shop with that link. It ends, I believe, Sunday night or possibly Monday night, so not very long. And I hope that all of you have a great day. This will be immediately on replay, and I'll see you there. Have a great day. Bye. Yes, great idea, Kathy. It's so good to see you live, Kathy. And thank you. And thank you, Mitzi. Thank you, everybody, for being here. She's popping up the supply list for you. All right, bye. Have a great weekend.